Welcome to the Quick Kick Picks for Barclays Premier League Match Week 3, sponsored by Bros Talking Soccer. I am Christian, here with my brother Matthew today. Matt, how you doing over there with your hat?
Hello, Christian. I'm doing great. I showed my phone with my Bros Talking sticker upside down to start with, but now it's right side up. How are
Did you
you
say
doing?
your Bros Talking sticker?
Bros Talking stickers.
Okay, well, that's good. So, we're here to talk about the Barclays Premier League Match Week 3. Matt, did you just disappear? He left the stream. All right, of course, we're having some technical difficulties. Good thing it didn't start yet. Not the best, Matthew. There we go. You somehow he left again. Yeah, so he's just gonna leave and come back all the time, I guess.
It's automatically turning off my camera and muting my mic. Like I'm not pressing a button.
Yeah, it keeps disconnecting you for some reason, and it did it again. This is just top-notch stuff here. I'm glad everybody is witnessing this. Luckily, Dave is the only one watching this live right now. Yeah, thanks. Well, I guess I'll just tell everybody about the game that we play. I added Matt back, and we'll see how long that lasts. So we do a game with the Quick Kick Picks where each of you are also going to predict the scores of each of the 10 matches in a given week. So this week we'll have, obviously, the 10 games that are on that we're about to discuss. And we want to hear what you think the scores are going to be and all your predictions related to it. So what you need to do is tell us the home team score, which will be worth 1 point. The away team score, which if you get it correct is a point. The result of the match, so win, draw, or loss, that's a 3rd point. And if you get all 3 correct, you get a bonus 2 points. So that's 5 points up for grabs in every single match. Matt is back in here, and now he's gone again. So, yeah, if you want to tweet at us, which is BT Soccer Pod, that's the way you can tell us your score predictions and get involved in the game. At the end of the month, if you have the highest score, you get to come on our podcast for a 15-minute interview, which is always a great time with Dave, Matt, and myself. Matt, are you here now?
Well, I'm here, but if I put my camera on, it kicks me out because it says I'm using my camera in another app, but I am not. My computer is a liar. But can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
At BT Soccer Pod.
I don't know why Dave said that. I must have said it wrong.
I think he's just trying to plug.
And now Matt's lying to me. Okay, so, well, I guess we'll just continue to go with no video for you.
I don't know, Dave, what do you think, since you're our boss?
Yeah, I guess we'll get Dave's opinion because he's the one in charge around here and our producer. Okay, so we'll keep going with that. He said that seems best. So that's what's going to happen. You guys are going to look at me the whole time and
just mouth out what I'm saying.
I mean, Matt glows a little bit when he talks, so that's something. So here we go. We're just going to start, Matt. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So first match of the week is going to be on Friday. Aston Villa versus Everton at Villa Park. It's at 3 p.m. Matt, what is happening in this one?
Yeah, so I think everyone's pretty hopeful for both teams in the Premier League this season. Christian, I am getting a very bad echo. So let's redo that one.
Okay. I guess I'll start it over.
Do you have headphones?
So what do you think's happening in this one, Matt?
Yeah, so I think everyone was very excited about both these teams heading into the season. Villa with 2 unfortunate losses. I don't think they played necessarily badly in either of those games. And Everton, I think they have 4 points to start the season. Pretty high hopes for them. Going away to Aston Villa, I think Aston Villa has a slight advantage there. They're hungry for points at home. First points of the campaign. I think they're able to fight out a draw in this one. I'm going to say 2-2. I think there's going to be goals. I like both teams going forward, but some questions defensively.
Yeah, so Aston Villa was it Bournemouth last week and lost
Yeah.
2-1. So Everton, in my opinion, are a much stronger side than Bournemouth, even though Bournemouth do have some good players on that team. I think Everton obviously have done great business in the window and are going to come into this game hopeful of a win. Aston Villa, on the other hand, did arguably the most business in the summer in bringing in pretty much half of their team. And it's a brand new team. It's going to take time for them to gel together. But I expect Aston Villa to just be competitive in this game, start to make moves. They've lost 2 games now. No real shame in losing at Spurs in the opener, but home to Bournemouth, that's a game you expect them to get at least a point early on. Hopefully they start to bring it together. I don't see it happening, and I expect another 2-1 loss for Everton or for Aston Villa here. Everton wins this match. Matt, anything else you want to add?
No.
No? All right. So next match is going to be Norwich hosting Chelsea at Carrow Road. This is the 7:30 a.m. game, Eastern Standard Time. I think that this game is going to go in a very interesting direction. Norwich have started very well. I mean, they lost at Anfield, pretty much getting blown out, but they showed themselves in a good light there. Last week at home, they shocked a lot of people by beating Newcastle 3-1, and it looked pretty easy for them. That goal they conceded was in, I think, the 94th minute, John Joe Shelby's goal. And Pukki is tied for the Golden Boot right now out of absolutely nowhere. He is absolutely flying off of that hat trick last week, and I expect him to cause problems for Chelsea. Chelsea, obviously, haven't won a game yet. They looked much better in the first 20 minutes against Leicester last week, but they still just something's not right in their team, and it might be the stamina. I don't know what it is completely, but on the road at Norwich, they should be winning this game. I don't think that they will, and I'm expecting an entertaining 2-2 draw in this one. Matt, what do you think's happening here?
Yeah, I think Chelsea needs to win this game. Lampard really needs to win this game, and I just don't think the club will accept drop points here. I expect them to win. I'm going to say 3-1. I like the way Norwich plays going forward, but Chelsea just has too many options. I think they're good going forward. I think they have a lot of more options now with Callum Hudson-Odoi back healthy and Willian. So their attacking players just need to be more creative, and I think they know that. So there's more pressure on everyone on the team to perform at the highest level. So I think they'll get the first win of the season this weekend.
Okay, and I think that Chelsea obviously have the more talented squad overall, but we'll see what's happening. I still predict a draw on this one. Matt, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Nope. All right. So next game is the 10 a.m. batch of games. So the first one we'll talk about is Brighton hosting Southampton. Matt, what's happening in this one?
Yeah, so Southampton's got off to a very bad start. Brighton with 4 points to start the season, surprising maybe a couple people. They're off to a pretty good start. I think I have them struggling this year in the Premier League. I have a lot of questions about both these teams, Southampton especially. I don't even know what is going on defensively there. So I'm interested to see how they do against a weaker side in Brighton. I think it's going to go 1-1, and Southampton's able to get a point. Brighton, I just don't know how good they can be consistently going forward. I'm just going to go 1-1 here. Christian, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
So I'm expecting a very, very tight game here. I expected Brighton to go down early on in the season. And obviously it's still early on in the season, but 4 points from 2 games, is not bad at all. And I expect Brighton to win this game. Honestly, I think Southampton have shown themselves to be pretty poor defensively. And for as great of a first half as they had against Liverpool last week, their goal came out of absolutely nothing, where Adrian kicked the ball straight into Ings, and Ings really should have had a second, but they're just not as clinical as you want them to be. Bournemouth, on the other hand, are grabbing the points that they need to, and yeah, they haven't played anyone really too big yet, but these are the types of games they need to get points in if they want to stay up this year, and early signs are showing that they can do it. So I have to go with a Brighton win here. And if I had to pick a score, I'm going with a 2-0 victory for Brighton at home this week.
Fair enough.
Matt, anything else you have to add on this one?
Nope.
All right. So moving on here, we're going to go over to Old Trafford. We got Manchester United hosting Crystal Palace at 10 a.m. on Saturday. I expect Manchester United to bounce back from their 1-1 draw with Wolves on Monday and get the win at home against Crystal Palace this week. Crystal Palace just do not look right yet. And I think that it's going to be a while until they do. They've lost at Sheffield United, who really don't look too great this season. And they got a draw against Everton at home in the opener, which really doesn't look too bad on paper. But Everton were down a man in that game, and I think Crystal Palace should have done more to get points in that one. I don't know if I have too much confidence in their attack, and their defense just, to me, is not ready to face against this Manchester United team that is much improved from last year, but still just isn't really answering the questions they need to really break into that title race. Yes, they're in the top 4 race, but Manchester United, I think, wins this game pretty easily with a 3-1 scoreline at home. Matt, what do you think happens in this one?
Yeah, I think United at Old Trafford is just too powerful for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace offensively has not looked good. We had high hopes for Zaha, but I guess he can't do everything. But they just have not looked like they're able to piece anything together, especially with United's strengthened defense. They look much, much better. It took an outrageous goal from Neves on Wolves last week to put a goal in. I think they might have one of the better defenses in the league this year, United. So I think they're going to win this one 2-0. I don't think United's going to run away with it because I still have questions about them offensively, but I think they're able to find the net twice. That's why I'm going with 2-0.
Yeah, they definitely have improved defensively with Wan-Bissaka and Maguire coming in, but I don't know if I would say that they're one of the top defenses in the league yet. Anything else you want to add on this one?
No.
Nope. All right. So next match we're going to talk about here is another 10 a.m. game. It's Watford hosting West Ham. Matt, what's happening in this one?
Yeah, so Watford needs points. West Ham also needs points. A little disappointed in both these teams have been. It's only the third week. Watford at home, I think they have the advantage. I think they have slightly more talent than West Ham. It's pretty close. I would say they're pretty even on talent, but I would say going maybe forward, Watford could do a little bit more damage, especially at home. So I have them winning this game 2-1 over West Ham. This one's a tough one for me because I think they're too close, but I think just the home field is going to take over.
All right. So funnily enough, these are two teams that have both played Brighton so far, and that's an interesting thing considering neither were able to figure out how to beat Brighton. First of all, at home, Watford were absolutely abysmal in match week 1 where they lost 3-0 to Brighton. Even though they had so many chances to score, they just couldn't take advantage when the chances came. West Ham, I just don't know what's going on with them. I feel like they're too talented of a squad to be playing the way that they are right now, and they have to figure out a way to get points, specifically on the road. At home, they do okay. Obviously, their one home match was against Man City, and they got absolutely blown out. But I think they do have that advantage of playing in the Olympic Stadium right now. I don't know what the answer is to Watford. I think they really have a talented squad to break into the top half. And I can't remember if they finished top half or just outside last season, but they do have the talent. They're a good squad. They're not absolutely brilliant, and they're not going to break into the Europa League spots, but they're a solid enough team where both of these teams, I think, are competitive for that top half. Watford at home, I think they get the job done, get their first win, and it's going to be a 2-1 close game here. Matt, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All right, so we'll move over to Sheffield United playing against Leicester City at home, and it's a 10 a.m. game again. Sheffield United last week got their first win at home against Crystal Palace in a 1-0 victory. They looked pretty composed. They had a number of chances in that game, and I expect them to do the same thing this week. Leicester definitely are a step up in competition than Crystal Palace, and Leicester City obviously got a point on the road at Chelsea last week, which is a much more difficult place to go. At least that's what we expect this season. And Leicester are going to win this game. I think Sheffield, for as high as they must feel right now after winning at home, this is a completely step up. And this is really what the Premier League is about. I think Sheffield United probably grab a goal in this one, but Leicester cruise with a 3-1 victory on the road. Matt, what do you think happens in this game?
Yeah, so Leicester just in the past couple of years, it seems like they are kings at just these 1-0 or 2-1 victories. I don't know which one this is going to be. I'm going to guess 1-0. They tend to do well against. I mean, they play against the top six pretty well, but it seems like they just handle their business throughout the season. Don't really tend to lose too often to, I guess, lower level teams, and they're always competitive. I have them finishing top half. Sheffield, they have started incredibly well. They're at home. This is their second home game, I want to say. So it's not there. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be too much magic necessarily in the stadium. I know the fans are probably still excited, but I think Leicester is able to just grind this one out. Proper Premier League grind right here, and 1-0 victory on the road.
1-0. Yeah. I feel like these are the types of games that Leicester actually have struggled with over the past couple of years since they won the league. They always play the top six really well, but then I think they take their foot off the gas a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit of a trap for them, but I think they see this one out. Anything else you would like to add, Matt?
No.
All right. So next game is the 12:30 p.m. game, Eastern Standard Time. Liverpool hosting Arsenal. Matt, take it away. What do you think's happening in this one?
Yeah, so based on last year's trip to Anfield, you would want to say that Liverpool will destroy them because that's kind of what happened last year. But I'm not so sure. Arsenal players are talking very harshly in the media about Liverpool, which is kind of strange considering what happened last year with Socrates saying, I think it was Burnley's harder to defend than Liverpool. And Lacazette saying he said something about Liverpool's defense. So maybe they're just really fired up. Arsenal, hopefully they're playing all their attacking options, and it's going to be, or I guess their top level ones with Pepe, Lacazette, Aubameyang, maybe throw an Ozil in there at some point in the game. But I'm expecting big things from this Arsenal team. I'm going to say this is going to be a 2-2 draw. Liverpool's defense hasn't looked great, and I mean, we all have questions about Arsenal's defense, so I don't think this is going to necessarily be a low-scoring game.
Okay, for me, I think that this is another Liverpool win. Considering since the start of the 2013-14 season, Liverpool have beaten Arsenal at home 22-8. I think that this continues. Funnily enough, Firmino has scored the first goal in every match at Anfield against Arsenal. He scored the first goal of the game, which is for Liverpool, I guess. And then Mane and Salah have also scored in every single game against Arsenal at home. That trend, I don't think, continues this week. I don't think all three of them will score, but Liverpool will score goals against this Arsenal defense. They just haven't improved that part of the pitch enough. And I think they have absolutely brilliant attackers with Lacazette if Pepe starts, and of course Aubameyang, one of the golden boots from last season. I think Arsenal do grab a goal just because, like you said, Liverpool's defense don't look quite up for it yet, and they have great players, but not enough to keep them out. I think Liverpool win this game 3-1, I'm going to say, at home. Matt, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All right, moving over to Sunday, we are going to talk about Bournemouth hosting Manchester City. So this one is an interesting one. This is a 9 a.m. game. This is an interesting one because last season, this is a game Manchester City, struggled with early on in the season. I remember Charlie Daniels' incredible goal that he scored across into the back of the net through the crossbar. Unbelievable from pretty much outside of the side of the 18-yard line. It was ridiculous. Man City, I think, won that game with a Raheem Sterling 95th minute goal. Matt, is that correct? Do you remember that?
Oh, you did that a lot last year.
Okay. So it's probably not going to be that close this time around, even though Bournemouth did win on the road last week, and they only drew at Sheffield at home in their opener. Man City obviously are the toughest team to play in the league. Absolutely. They are relentless in their pressure, their creativity, and the players that they have. They're the best team in the league pretty handedly at this point, I would say. Liverpool are a close second, but it is still somewhat of a gap to Manchester City. They have improved their depth. They have the players to score goals on the road, at home, doesn't matter where they are. And Bournemouth, for as creative as they can be on their day, they're not going to get a lot of chances. So it's going to be up to them to take the chances if they do come up. Man City win this game comfortably. I'm going to say it's a 3-0 victory for City on the road. Matt, what do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to keep Man City, just away from the goal. I have them scoring 4 goals. I'm going to have them probably scoring 4 goals in most of my predictions throughout the season. I think it's just a safe bet. Yeah, and coming off a drop point, we typically perform much better. Me as a Manchester City fan, coming off drop point games. And it doesn't matter, like you said, on the road, at home. I mean, we were great at home, we're great on the road. And I just don't see Bournemouth able to kind of stop Man City. So 4-0. If Ederson's not drunk this game.
Okay. That's a good point. Anything else you want to add?
No.
All right. So another game on Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Tottenham hosting Newcastle. Matt, what's happening in this one?
Yeah, so Tottenham just with the momentum going back home. Newcastle with current form. It seems like Tottenham's going to win this one. I would say pretty easily. Tottenham defensively looked pretty good against Man City. Able to kind of keep them away or just take bad shots, I want to say, because City, I think, took 30 shots or something like that, but they didn't have like too many clear-cut opportunities. Newcastle, I don't see them being able to create much on that Tottenham defense. And going forward, we all know how lethal Kane can be. I feel like he's due for some goals in this one, so I have them winning 3-0.
Okay, yeah, I expect Tottenham to cruise in this game as well. I think Newcastle haven't really started the best. They went on the road last week and lose to Norwich 3-1 to a Pookie hat trick. That's not really what you want to see if you're a Newcastle fan. That's a team that you're really competing with to avoid relegation this season. And I think in their opener, they did pretty well to keep Arsenal out. Yes, Arsenal win that game 1-0, but they didn't really create too many chances. I think Newcastle did have a couple of chances in that game, and they're going to have to really buckle down in this one. I think Tottenham are a step up from Arsenal, in my opinion. I don't really have a lot of confidence in Tottenham's defense this season, but they have the attacking players, and they do have a solid defense. It's just not as good as some of the other top teams in the league. I think against Newcastle, they have the quality to absolutely keep a clean sheet, specifically at home, and you won't see the mistakes that they made against Aston Villa early in the game. I think Tottenham win this game. Probably, yeah, I'm going to agree with you with a 3-0 victory. Matt, anything else you want to add about this match?
Nope.
All right, so final match of match week 3 is going to be Wolves hosting Burnley FC. So I think this one is going to be a Wolves victory. They played very well in the second half against Manchester United. Really were not up for the first half against United. And I don't think that's the same level of competition, obviously, with Burnley coming to town. Burnley do have a couple of solid players in their team. Specifically, they can be very physical defensively and really just frustrate the hell out of you. Matt, I know he loves Burnley so much, so he's waiting to talk about them. But Wolves, they have such talent. Neves is just an absolute brilliant center mid, and he is so fun to watch. I'm shocked he's still there, and a bigger team hasn't come to try and take him. Wolves have done good business. They've got that Portuguese core, which continue to impress almost every single match, and they get the job done against Burnley. I'm going to go with a 2-0 victory for Wolves in this one. Matt, what do you think's happening in this game?
Yeah, so my prediction is going to be emotionally inspired with the team I secretly love in Wolves. Not secretly, really, but just I love the way they play. Love kind of everything about the club. And Burnley, the team I freaking hate. I'll go more specific this week. If Ashley Barnes freaking scores again, I'm going to punch myself in the face. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. He just bangs bodies. He's able to find little pockets of space and score. I don't think Wolves will allow that. They only have one. I think they only have one goal this season, Wolves. And I think they're due for some goals. I have them putting up 3 against Burnley. They're at home. So yeah, I have this one going 3-0, and Ashley Barnes just better not score.
Yeah, I don't see Burnley getting many chances, and if they do, hopefully it does fall to Barnes for them because I can't see Burnley really creating 5 or 6 clear-cut chances in this game. Wolves are just too good defensively and in the attack. Matt, anything else you want to add on this game?
No.
All right, so that wraps up match week 3 predictions. Definitely remember to tweet at us at BT Soccer Pod to give us your predictions and get involved in our game. 5 points up for every game. That's 50 points available this week. Matt, any last comments you want to add?
No.
All right, so that was the Quick Kick Picks presented by Bros Talking Soccer. Hope everyone has a good week, and let's hear your predictions. Let's go get some matches played.